And we're back. Mazu Mindset.
Like we never left.
Yeah. Welcome back, people.
It's 2027.
26, you mean? Man is already in the future.
I am always in the future wave. But we are sorry we left you for that long. And now we're back for good. Back for a good long time with you. Give you your news in AI, DeFi, Web3, and marketing, storytelling as it is.
Yeah, that's what we're good at. And while we're away, we prepared a lot of information for you guys. I hope you like what we'll be sharing in the future. But today we're mainly going to talk about the blockchain and how it's changed everything. For those of you who don't know what it is, check our earlier videos. We'll explain what it is as simply as we can. But it's very exciting stuff for some of us who have been involved in the crypto world for a few years. Some of the things that are happening, we can't believe they're actually happening. But yeah, for my part, I've been holding Bitcoin. Let's go. Let's keep the wave going. For all of you who don't even know what that is, well, that's a video for another day.
Well, I guess the question becomes, Cedric, what is the blockchain? Well, in simple terms, please.
In the easiest way I could put it, you can think of the blockchain like a notebook, right? Like one which you would, let's say, keep a record of all your transactions. For example, if you have a business and let's say it's a shop and let's say they bring soap, you have to write that down somewhere, right? So everything that happens in the shop, you have to write it down somewhere, right? So that's basically what the blockchain is, but online.
So like a register of things that have been happening online.
Exactly. So it's a track record. It records everything. So
with a key emphasis on transactions or anything?
It could be more than transactions, right? It could be even stuff that's not important. Like how in that notebook you'd write, let's say a note, call back, I don't know, at Joseph to bring more soap, in the example of the person who owns a shop. So yeah, it's the same thing. Like you could record, even if I'm not sending Brian money, I could send him something else. Maybe it's an NFT or any other online thing.
I think you've gone a bit too fast. Because NFT, for most of our people,
they've not yet.
Exactly.
We're gonna assume you don't know what that is. So maybe I could send Brian something else, like a T-shirt. Like let's say he's working at the shop, so now he has to wear a T-shirt so that he looks good, or he represents the brand. So it doesn't matter what I send, that notebook records. And the good thing with that notebook, it's not only with me who has it, because it's online and there are a bunch of computers connected to it. Every computer that, every time I write down something, every computer also gets a copy of that thing that I've written down, that activity that I've written down.
So just hold on there. So what you're saying is it's a ledger of things happening on the internet.
Yep.
And every computer connected to that chain gets to write down that transaction?
Exactly. So everything that happens is recorded by computers which join this network or business of ours, if I'm to stick to that example, right? So when they connect and let's say I want to supply Brian, right? Who has it, or Brian is a supplier, wants to come to my shop and give me soap. So I have to know exactly who is supplying me what, and I'll need computers or many people as proof that actually yes, you guys have all seen that Brian has said he's going to bring a kilogram of soap, for example. So yeah, the blockchain does that, and it allows us to transparently know every computer that connects to my blockchain or that has access to my notebook will know everything that's happening. So it's very public and open like that.
You know me, I'm a history buff, so I always want to understand. Where did the blockchain start from?
Well, it started in the 80s or 90s as the whole internet money concept or digital money concept. At the 80s, okay, well, the internet wasn't everywhere, but there was already that concept of we need a programmable way of having our cash moving, or of having a record of activities that are happening. At the time, the internet wasn't a big thing. They were still inventing it, or it isn't what it is like today. But as time came on, more people contributed to this whole internet money or online money concept, until about 2008, when the legend who made Bitcoin, call him Satoshi, we still don't know who that is up to today.
Nakamoto.
Yes.
It sounds like an anime character.
Proper swordsman.
Sounds like the guy in Death Note.
Yeah, man. He's one of those guys.
So 2008 is a fun fact, by the way, before you go a bit further. We covered this in our first videos. For those of you who haven't watched it, we covered what Web 1, 2, and 3 are.
Yeah.
And in those iterations of the web, that's when we start to see the ARPANET. And I just found out recently that the internet was not called the internet. It was called the ARPANET from DARPA.
What?
Yeah. And then
ARPANET.
after that, a few guys jumped on board. I was listening to a podcast about the founder of Pixar, and he used to work at DARPA or ARPANET.
Really?
Yeah, so there's just a few guys. And
Which year was that?
This is like in the 80s, because Pixar at that point had been sold to George Lucas of Lucasfilm, Star Wars. And their main goal was to make computer-generated images, CGI.
CGI.
Yeah.
In the 80s.
In
Wow,
the 80s.
That's very interesting.
So from that version of the internet, which was DARPA and ARPA, military actually application, we come up
Of
to
course.
now Web 2 and now Web 3, which is the blockchain, which is what we're talking about now. So you just touched on Satoshi Nakamoto. What things can be done on the blockchain other than registering transactions? What else, like currencies? Is that why we hear cryptocurrencies coming? Is that why we hear, online mortgages? Could you just expound more?
Okay, so any asset that can be digitized can be put on the blockchain. So the most common, obviously, is money, because that's the most, let's say, frequently used asset.
Cash is
worldwide.
king.
Exactly. So now, that's why it worries here. That's why there's that correlation of crypto and money. But you can do more. If you have anything you feel like is of value, and you can find a way of putting it online, and doesn't have to be tangible, then you can add it to a blockchain, whichever one you like. So there are many blockchains, right? There's many cryptocurrencies. They all use that blockchain technology that we've just described.
An online ledger of transactions.
Exactly. So once you put up your asset, it could be art, it could be music, it could be anything. It could even
mortgage,
a building. You
land
can put up a land
title.
It could be, I don't know,
Can
anything
I-
you can think of.
Can I put up capital gains and assets? Can I put up things like car deeds, logbooks? Can I put up, let's say, stock on the blockchain?
I guess you can do that. For stocks, it's a bit more sensitive, because they're like kind of finding a way to do that. You need permission from the company and all that. And then you have to also collaborate with like the institutions that run the whole stock exchanges globally. Unfortunately, crypto isn't there yet, but it's working definitely towards that. So we're getting closer to that. Although there's different ways you could do it, unless the company themselves come up and say, we're putting up our own shares and this and that. But it's still shaky for financial instruments, especially like the shares and the stocks.
Okay, I feel like now you've unpackaged a lot of things for us.
Okay.
Could you just go back slightly on the cash, like the cryptocurrencies, and maybe just give us 3 examples of which cryptocurrency and which blockchain it runs on, and how they're uniquely advantaged to run on those different blockchains.
Okay, so the cryptocurrency I think I'm going to start with the top three: Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana. So Bitcoin uses something they call mining, but I don't know if I should get into that right now. You might say it's a bit technical as well.
Indeed. Just tell us.
The currency that runs on the Bitcoin blockchain is called Bitcoin, the one you've heard a lot. Same thing with Ethereum. The currency and the name of the blockchain are the same, right? I don't want us to get too stuck upon that whole blockchain thing. It's just a way things are done. So, or like a way to describe that whole ability to put stuff online and transfer them everywhere. So, every cryptocurrency that you hear about has its own blockchain, right?
Got you.
Yeah. And also the currency that it runs on. The main reason for that currency is like to reward people for being on their blockchain, right? Not just for you to send money from Brian to Cedric. At core, the currency's most important purpose, actually, I feel, is to allow people that approve the transactions to get, paid. Like as if how here in Uganda we have mobile money fees.
I was just about to ask that.
Exactly.
Could you, in a way, differentiate for me why mobile money isn't cryptocurrency?
So mobile money isn't cryptocurrency because it's structured in a different way, right? Mobile money, it needs internet to work, but the users don't necessarily need the internet to work to access mobile money. Like I can use mobile money even with a phone that has no access to the internet. I can go and do the code *165 or whatever it is. If you're in East Africa and it's not that. So that's one of the core differences. Right?
How about the fact that it also sits on a centralized finance kind of
and
infrastructure?
Then there's also that difference, but I didn't know if I should dive into that immediately. So mobile money is controlled by Airtel or MTN or Safaricom or whichever the mobile network is in your country that you're in. So people use it because of the trust of those companies. They believe that either Airtel, MTN, Safaricom or whoever is here to stay, and because we already use these companies' products, we're already calling people or texting people using their networks, we feel like we trust them. And so when they came up with this whole invention of, look, you don't just need to use this phone to call, you can also send money on the phone and receive cash. It helped us a lot because most of us here in East Africa don't bank or rely on the banking system. We mostly earn daily cash or disposable income. It's a main source or main way to earn. A fewer percentage of us are salaried or on a salary basis. So that makes things interesting, right? So when this invention came, it made it easier for us to transfer money. It happens quicker than the banks. There's less people I have to interact with, less offices I go to. I receive the money on my phone directly and I have an account there. In many ways, it's similar to crypto, but it's not, right? Because of the way it was designed, and we all don't know what's happening on their networks, it kind of makes it different, right?
I was just about to say, it's not transparent.
It's not transparent, so anything could happen. Somebody could con you using this network, or somebody could claim that an event has happened and yet it hasn't. But because this other technology is open, anybody who cares to check can go and check and say, yeah, indeed, this is what happened. It makes it more like trustworthy because we can check.
And
right?
also, it's controlled by the telcos. So once the telcos go out of business, you're out of business.
Then you're screwed, yeah. So there are those limitations, and because the telecoms are in control of the technology, the mobile money technology, they determine what you can do with it, right? So unless they say now you can upload a land title and we'll verify this land title and everything, you cannot do that. So they determine what you can upload on their platform and what you can do with their technology, right? However, with the blockchain, in the way it's designed, it's very open-ended. Of course, the technology has its limitations, right? But you could more or less do what you want within its limitations, right? So that's how the whole concept of me coming up with a digital asset, something that can earn me money online and putting it on a blockchain, right? That's how it can work.
So you touched slightly on the cryptocurrencies, and now I'm fully aware that a cryptocurrency like runs on its own blockchain.
Yeah.
So is there a distinguishable difference? Why would I pick Ethereum over Solana? Why would I pick, we've all heard of Trump coins and meme coins. Why would I pick these high performing top three you've mentioned over any other, for example?
Over any other.
You know.
It may be the most important thing is what you want to do with that cryptocurrency. Because they're all designed differently, which gives each its own like advantage and disadvantages, right? So let's say I want a blockchain that does transactions very quickly. Amongst those three, I would go with Solana, because Solana is designed to have, I think it's 1,000 transactions a second, something like that, some crazy number. So there will be that advantage there. So if I want to do, if my business or my reason behind it involves a lot of transactions or a lot of events, I would go with Solana.
Solana for speed.
Yeah, Solana for speed and efficiency. So if I'm doing something that requires that, then I'll go there.
Bitcoin for stability? It being the oldest?
It being the oldest, it has turned into the equivalent of gold.
So it's
in internet
what
money.
They call digital gold.
So if I want to store a value, let's say I want to, instead of taking my savings to a bank and they give me maybe 10%, maybe the decision could be I buy Bitcoin and I save it for maybe 10 years. But this is not financial advice, people, right? This is just a conversation. So don't take my word for it.
Guys are going to come for you.
Before they come.
Lawsuit spending.
I'm telling them, we are just talking here. Please.
This is not financial
do your
advice.
research.
Yes.
Before you do anything with your money.
Exactly.
But that could be an option. Just like gold is a store of value. If I don't trust all the banks and I can find a way of buying gold legally, I'll do that and buy gold and put it in a safe one or in a safe place somewhere. And I know this gold over a certain amount of time will gain value. So the same thing it applies for cryptocurrency or internet money. You pick according to the purpose.
And Ethereum?
Something like Ethereum. So Ethereum, depending on how complex what you want to do online is. So for example, if I want to do something like sign a contract, or maybe I want to track an employee's work, or I want to track work I'm doing with a partner or something like that, or I want to develop something a bit complicated and maybe making it very simple. One of the best blockchains would be Ethereum. So because of something called smart contracts, you can
just about to say
you can design something or an online product or an activity or anything cool, right? You can design something. And Ethereum is designed a way that it can allow you to do all sorts of things. You just have to kind of describe what you want to do. And if it's within the limitations of the blockchain, it will happen.
So maybe touch on that a little bit more. A smart contract. Like, are we talking about a situation whereby I hire this company to, say, do decor for my wedding? And we enter a smart contract. Expound more on that. How do I pay them in Ethereum, assuming they accept Ethereum? And how would that smart contract effectively work?
Yeah. Okay, so just to clarify, the smart contracts aren't limited to just Ethereum. Even Solana, you can have a smart contract. Anyway, so for example, if I want to organize an event, like you said, and I want the decor person there, the decorations person there, what I'll do is, maybe to ensure that everybody is clear, we'll sit down and set targets and say, for example, we'll need tents, we need some decoration of any kind, right? And we'll agree. And I have the money up front, but maybe I want to pay you as you achieve a goal. Like, let's say when you bring the tent, I give you the money for the tents. When you bring the other decorations, I pay you like that. So what I'll do is I'll get my Ethereum, I'll describe the terms of our work relationship, and then we'll set the milestones. We'll also agree on them, both of us, right? And then I'll put the cash up in this, let's say, for simplicity, locked with this contract, which we're calling a smart contract, which is basically a programmable contract. So once you have achieved a milestone, you will like, let's say, you go online and tick and say, yes, I've done this, right? And then I'll come and approve and say, yes, indeed, you have done this. And as soon as both parties have approved, the money is sent to your account. So it kind of reduces the stress of people who have dealt with clients that don't pay on time, pay later, promise you to do work and don't pay. It kind of removes that headache.
We're all very familiar with this. So blockchain will essentially come in to make things convenient. Like, I pay you when you do something. It's transparent. Meaning, not like mobile money where I cannot know who sent me or who has sent what over the course of the day. I can be able to understand what has moved. It is fast.
It is fast.
In the form of Solana and their blockchain.
Even Ethereum is fast.
All of them are fast because they are a step ahead of mobile money, which is fast, but blockchain is much faster. So for those who don't know, like when I have my money on my account on mobile money, it's seated on my SIM card or for intents purposes MTN or Airtel's account. Where does my Bitcoin sit? Where would I be able to access it? Where are there different banks? What are they like? Where would I store my money?
Okay. So that's a good question. So I'll start with, where do you get Bitcoin? So the most common way is through what we call exchanges. You can think of them as like forex traders, or people who, like, when you have one currency, you go to them and they exchange it for you, right? So in this case, you'd have, let's say, Ugandan shillings or the US dollar or whatever currency that you might have on you, and say, I want this currency's equivalent of Bitcoin, for example. So the exchanger is somebody who has large amounts of, let's say, Bitcoin, and and also maybe also your currency, and he's going to earn on a commission, like similar to mobile money fees, for giving you Bitcoin and accepting your currency.
Like a transactional fee.
He earns a transactional fee, and he will let you know, I'm taking 1% or 2% of the transactional fee. Most of these exchanges will let you know about their rates.
So they're like a modern version of a forex bureau?
Forex bureau, not a forex trader, actually.
Okay.
So in my mind, I've been looking at the charts, forgive me. That's where my mind is. Anyway, so
you are forgiven. In his name. So back to the
like forex
bureaus, yes. What are the best kind to work with?
So the biggest globally is Binance. I would suggest you use Binance. If you're in America, you can use Coinbase. Coinbase is very good. But I think even worldwide, you can use Coinbase. But it's the biggest exchanger in America. There are others like OKB, if I've said it right, OKB. And there are so many others, but...
Would someone consider cheaper cash to be an exchange?
Not really.
Why?
Because the crypto isn't actually going to be in your wallet. What cheaper cash will give you access to is the price action of holding a crypto asset. Basically, that means they, cheaper cash, actually have the crypto in their wallet. And so when you see like the value of your Bitcoin either going up or down on your cheaper cash, you don't actually have Bitcoin because you can't send that Bitcoin away from the cheaper cash app. You just have like, I don't know how to call it. You're just being given access to that
price movement.
Yeah.
So
but you don't actually hold the asset.
You mentioned something very important for those of us who are still green, and I hope this video has done a little bit of enlightenment. The money is not in my wallet. So
for the case of cheaper cash,
could you expound more on
like
that wallet or a smart wallet so that people who need to understand where they hold their money?
Okay, so that's very key. I wasn't talking badly about cheaper cash just
by the way,
for the sake.
We were just giving it as an example.
Yeah. But their wallet providers. These guys do need to calm down.
I mean, it's not a lecture, but we're also not taking any shots. We love everything Cheaper Cash is doing. It's a locally manufactured fintech.
It's a fintech,
and that's pretty much where we want to go with our direction. And big ups to you guys at Cheaper Cash.
We appreciate the work you're doing.
We don't want any smoke.
Yeah, just to be clear. Anyway, so you have to have a wallet in which you hold all your crypto, right? The difference between the wallets that the exchanges give you, like the wallet you'll have on your account with the exchanger, like if you have a Binance account, you have a wallet inbuilt in your Binance account. The difference is you can send this crypto to another app or another platform that is primarily a crypto wallet. It's not an exchanger, it's a crypto wallet.
So say me paying you.
So me paying you becomes easy if I have the cash on my wallet. Now there are many apps that do this. MetaMask is one of the biggest.
I use Exodus.
There's Exodus, there's Phantom.
Robinhood.
Robinhood is more like an exchanger. I'm not sure what their wallet looks like. I'll have to check that out.
No, I'm very sure. They have a wallet that is tied to my Exodus wallet, so they have a wallet.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, I guess maybe Robinhood has that in check.
And it's usable.
I've known them more for a broker of financial assets, but then it kind of makes sense. These are financial assets. They'd have to put one foot in.
Like anyway, this just actually shows you that we are not experts. We are just sharing knowledge together as friends to the audience of our followers and our watchers.
Yes.
So the money would sit in a smart wallet, and it would be easier for me to transfer it as opposed to, like, let's say our friends at Cheaper Cash, where I can't move it, but I can look at the movements.
Yeah.
Okay. How secure are these wallets?
Okay, so now there are types of wallets, right? There's a type of wallet we call a cold wallet, which is offline. Like you send your money to that wallet and you can effectively remove it from any online like platform or servers. It cannot be reached until you plug it back into your PC. I think that's like the safest form of crypto wallet you can have, because it goes offline, and when it's offline nobody can reach it, so your money is safe.
I just want to put a caveat in that. That's how also you are easily hearing people who lost 100 Bitcoin because they lost the flash drive. So there's that con to it as well.
Everything has pros and cons. Yeah, so you can lose the flash and effectively lose your money, or the cold wallet and you lose your money, because without it being online nobody can reach it.
But it's very secure.
But that's the safest way.
Exactly.
And then number two, these wallet providers, as they're maintaining their apps or websites, they do a lot of cybersecurity to kind of keep you guys secure, but they are breached once in a while. But it's very difficult to find any online platform that has never been breached. So
has Bitcoin ever been breached?
Wallet providers of Bitcoin have been breached, but the blockchain itself, Bitcoin, no.
Okay.
I haven't heard of that yet. Maybe
there ever been a
we'll have to check on that.
Breach of any of them?
Of the top 3, I'm not so sure, but there've been breaches of many. I would have to confirm. I wouldn't want to say something I'm not sure about, but we'll maybe come back to you next time and talk about that.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but
that is also
the way
for people watching, they can also check and
go
see.
Check it out. Write in the comments if you find out
if
any
you find a case.
Yeah, if you find
we'll
out
appreciate your research as well.
Yeah,
and if you find good research, share it.
So yeah, they can't be breached. Your money can't get hacked. MetaMask has been hacked, I think, before. Many wallet providers have been hacked before. Even the devices you use, like the hardware you use to access those platforms, sometimes can be slightly different, which creates an opportunity for somebody to get into your wallet. I think there was a time where MetaMask had that issue with iPhone users because of the way iOS works. Something about it created a loophole. But they fixed it shortly after it was discovered because some people's wallets were losing cash. I think also Phantom had that same issue. But I would have to come up with the breaches in detail. So once again, all these companies I've mentioned, don't come for us.
Truly, we're just sharing information as this and also letting you know the pros and cons of blockchain. Yes, it is fast. Yes, it is transparent. It is fairly secure and at the same time out of control of the centralized finance organizations. But it's also open to breach and it's open to being attacked by cyber attacks.
Yeah, cyber criminals. Actually, a bigger threat to you would be somebody convincing you to send them money or sending money to the wrong wallet. Yeah, once you send money to the wrong wallet, that's it. That money is gone. The only way for you to get it is if the wallet the owner of the wallet you sent it to is kind enough to send it back. But otherwise, that cash is gone.
It's a major con as well.
Yeah, so before you send money, you must confirm the address that it's going to and be sure of it. Like, even if you confirm 10 times before you send, make sure you confirm.
So you raised a very good thing, and for us to advise the audience to exercise caution. One of the things we have to look at is the regulation of cryptocurrency in different jurisdictions. One of them being the one we're speaking about, talking about cryptocurrency in Uganda. As of a court case, I think in... that
was 22?
2022
or 23?
Or 23. The court ruled not to recognize cryptocurrency as a legal tender.
Yes, as legal tender.
It does not mean that cryptocurrency is illegal in this country. In fact, Binance has conferences every once in a while and communities where they meet and you can move your money using aggregators. I'm getting fairly technical, but the point I'm making is the courts of Uganda and essentially the law doesn't recognize cryptocurrency as legal tender. However, that doesn't make it illegal.
You just can't use it to transact here, but you can buy and hold.
You can use it to transact. However, you will not be defended in the courts of law for any loss because they will not recognize it as legal tender. But you can use it to pay. If the person, for example, has a smart wallet and they're willing to accept payment in that form, you can actually pay them that way. However, if that person takes you to court, then that's a whole different conversation.
Yeah, there's nothing the government will do.
Yeah.
And that's like, I think you've touched a little bit about how these cryptocurrencies were created. So all money is usually backed by a particular state or country, right? So the US dollar, it's the US government that backs the US dollar. So if I get any issue, I go to the US, I can go to the US court, especially if it was a dollar-based transaction in their nation. I say, you guys, this and this happened, come and help me, or what should we do? So that applies for every country you are in the world. The state you are in, the government that runs that state is the one that backs that currency. But the way crypto was designed, it was designed in a way that it does not require any like one powerful body like a government to back it, right? The system backs itself.
Yeah.
So it was designed in a way that all the core things that a government does to back a currency, the blockchain itself or the network itself does it, but with a unique approach that's not like the one when it's government doing it, right?
Yeah.
So because of that, it created its own disadvantages, but also created certain advantages, right? Some of those disadvantages are things like what Brian is saying, of if you send money to the wrong address, that is it, and you can't go to court, right? There's no court that's going to take that case.
Yeah. And I think this is, with the exceptions of the Western world, like I believe as of recent regulation is just the New York Stock Exchange currently added stable coins and Bitcoin ETF under BlackRock, and that now made it kind of legal in the West. However, globally, these cryptocurrencies by regulators have been finding pushback, which brings me to something I wanted us to touch on before we leave. I hope we've been able to break down the blockchain, how you can transact, how you can store money, what kind of cryptocurrencies you should use, why they have advantages, why they have disadvantages. But I wanted to talk about, just slightly before we go off, the advantages or what you see as the future and what you envision for blockchain, because you said from 2008 we got the Bitcoin blockchain and we are now maybe 18 years down the road, a full adult. So if you bought Bitcoin for your child in 2008, by now they'll be legally earning it in their trust. But it's not going away. That's something we have seen. It's been around for 18 years. It's going to continue being around. So could you speak on to the nature of regulation, since we have touched regulation in Uganda and the nature of regulation in the other markets, more advanced markets? Yeah.
Well, first of all, we thank God for Trump, the crypto world.
I didn't see that
Trump did it for us. In the crypto world, he made, like, bro, I don't know how to explain it. But he is the crypto president.
He is the crypto real. P. He is crypto P.
He is crypto P. Shout out to all Celtics fans that like Peyton Pritchard.
Hey.
Yeah, man, that guy is fire.
Crypto P.
Anyway, so, he's the crypto president. He came up with stuff like the Genius Act. Basically, he started doing stuff that changed the way regulators looked at crypto.
Yeah.
And that changed everything, because the biggest problem that we were facing in the crypto world was pushback from governments.
Centralized finance.
Yeah. We're getting pushback from the centralized finance. Getting pushback from governments. And then Trump walks in and he's like, you guys, let's stop this. Let's find a way to work. But before Trump, there was still some friction, especially before this current term that he had. There was still major friction with cryptocurrencies. But when he walked in, he opened the doors, and now regulators are beginning to accept it and beginning to sit down and say, okay, this thing is actually here to stay. So let's figure out how to make it work for all of us. So they're doing their best to kind of come up with the best way to regulate it so that it's, viable for everybody to use. Or kind of so that they reduce the disadvantages of it running in the way it is without any regulation. So back to the future of cryptocurrencies. I honestly feel like this is a future of money, right? It's what money is going to be in the next few years. Some of our children will never see any paper cash, right? We'll be telling them these stories like, we used to have papers which represented cash.
Like how they pick up a coded phone and be like, what?
Man, they'll be like, they look at our phones like, this thing?
Like,
are you guys?
have to have a wire connected to a box.
They'll probably be wearing their phones or something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, so it's the future of money. There's no way around it. And I think even if it were not Trump, eventually, presidents worldwide, governments worldwide would eventually see that.
Yeah.
And, find a way of adjusting accordingly.
I was just going to add a little thing and say we are not pro-Trump, but this show is not political in any way. It's not aligned to any political affiliations, but we are fully cognizant of the macro happenings, and his administration has been pro-business, and because of that we have seen a shift, at least in the US legislation. I thought it would be prudent for me to remind you about ISO 2022. Have I said it correctly?
ISO 22022. I don't know what that's. 2200, 22, something like
222.
Something like that.
Something like that.
A bunch of twos and zeros.
It's an EU regulation that is going to come in and essentially make a digital central bank.
Okay, just to touch a little bit on that, ISO 2222022, right? Whatever it is.
We are not financial experts. Please do your research.
Yeah, man. So basically, because of cryptocurrency and how quickly cash flows, we all felt like, all the regulators all feel like this should be the same thing for the traditional banking system. Like, why should I wait 4 or 5 days to get money, for example, from the US? That's too long. Why should I wait 5 days to get money from Brazil? Because of the TTs take, 3 days for the banks to approve,
It's down.
So when blockchain came, and this is one of, by the way, the strong functionalities, is the speed of transaction, right? When if I'm sending Bitcoin to Brian and he's in the US and I'm in Uganda, it takes a few minutes.
Instant.
Right?
In some cases.
Worst case scenario is 24 hours, right? But usually it takes a few minutes. So that will change business, and especially international business, right? Because now all of a sudden, I don't need to wait too long to get money from another nation or somebody in another nation. It could happen instantaneously almost. So that's why I say it's definitely the future of the world, because the way business is being done today, some transactions take days, and then this could shift it to minutes. So
slightly to kick it into high gear, for those of you who are aware, so just, we're trying to explain it for those who are not aware. But with the CBDC, what we're looking at is, right now, mobile money is not digital money. It's still managed by traditional finance, by the Central Bank of Uganda, and other commercial banks. What the CBDC will be doing will be a central bank digital currency. That's what CBDC stands for. And all the currencies that, like my friend Cedric mentioned earlier, the Japanese yen or the British sterling or the euro, will essentially become a digital currency. And we will stop seeing the fiat, the printed paper. And what that will do is that it will force mass adoption by citizens of those countries of digital currencies. That's why and we are very optimistic and very forward thinking in terms of the crypto, that it is going to become a thing. It's going to be the future. Right now, for the purposes of this podcast, we are a digital marketing agency and we focus on Web3, AI, and DeFi. And we already know that if I was to be paid by someone for work done, it would pretty much happen in a digital form. I would give them my bank account, they would wire money. If that is already happening, then we're just saying cryptocurrency is the next step. You should educate yourself more about it and see how to get yourself some cryptocurrency. Of course, seek the advice of a professional before you do this. You can reach out to us on our socials and we can advise you in any way possible. We are always available on all the social media platforms. Look for Mazu Farm. And maybe the last thing before we leave you is why we are very bullish or strong on cryptocurrency and the blockchain is because institutional money or hedge funds and wealth managers are now leaning towards digitization of money. I would advise you guys to look out for BlackRock or their CEO Larry Fink and watch what he says about tokenization, which is something we can not fit in this conversation today, but we would like to expound on it in another conversation. So keep it locked. if you find this video very helpful for you or your friends, share it. Good information is always good when it's shared.
Yeah.
If you have any research that can add to our information, feel free to leave it in the comments below, or reach out to us and we'll host you on the show. And yeah.